Hello! In this video we're going to look at the absolute value task, problems 8, 9, and 10. This task is in the linear functions chapter in Algebra 2, and it's in the lesson, the piecewise linear functions lesson. So problems 8, 9, and 10 are a little more difficult than the others, so we're going to look at the solutions to those starting with problem 9. And we'll come back to why we're going to start with problem 9 in just a little bit. Okay, so problem 9 says the absolute value of x is greater than or equal to -1. So we want to look at what are the solutions to this problem. So we're going to do it two ways. The first way is graphing. So let's go to your Desmos graphing calculator. Okay, and in your Desmos graphing calculator, you want to type in two different functions, hence the piecewise. The first function is just y equals the absolute value, and that's abbreviated in Desmos as ABS, of x. Okay, and that gives us the v that we're expecting. The second function we want to graph is just y equals -1. And that's a line that we expect. So then the question is, when is the value of this line, the absolute value of x, greater than or equal to this line, -1? And in this case, you can see that in every point, the absolute value of x is greater than or equal to -1. Okay, so our solution to this is going to be all real numbers, because no matter what number we plug in, we can plug in -6 right here, and we know that that's the solution, which is +6, is greater than -1. We can plug in -4, and the solution is +4, which is greater than -1. We can plug in, 4.5. And the solution is going to be 4.5, which is greater than -1. We could plug in 1,000,000 way off our graph up here, and we know that the solution, 1,000,000, is going to be greater than or equal to -1. Okay, so going back to our problem, we know that the solution is all real numbers, because any number that we plug in for x is the absolute value of that is going to be greater than or equal to -1, and we saw that on our graph. We can also write this in math shorthand and upside down a for all real numbers. That's like our math shorthand. Okay, so let's look at doing this a different way. If we have, let's get a different color here, the absolute value of x is greater than or equal to -1, I know that that means x is either greater than or equal to -1, or x is less than or equal to +1. And notice when I flip my inequality from greater than to less than, I make my sign here positive, or I take the negative of a negative, which gives me a positive. This is just another way for me to look. Okay, so then if I graph this on just an x-axis, if I have 0, I have +1, I have -1. My first part shows me that x is greater than or equal to -1. So I'm going to go to -1, color it in because it's or equal to, and I want everything greater than. So I'm graphing all the numbers to infinity, all the real numbers to infinity greater than. Okay, or it can be less than or equal to +1. So I go to my +1, draw my circle, color it in, and it can be less than or equal to positive 1. So now you see with combining those two, I have the entire number line colored in. Therefore, my solution is all real numbers.